Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Good morning and welcome to Squiz Kids, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Thursday, February 4. In Squiz Kids today, rocket crash a great success. It's Groundhog Day again. Ben Simmons is a boomer and pups go wild for doggy pizza. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
If at first you don't succeed, then try and try again. That's the lesson we're taking away from the massive fail that was the SpaceX rocket launch yesterday after yet another test flight exploded upon landing. A test flight of the rocket that businessman Elon Musk hopes will one day take humans to Mars was launched in the skies above Texas in the United States on Tuesday afternoon, and despite flying 10 kilometers up into the sky and making a gradual, controlled return to Earth, it didn't quite stick the landing, crashing in a fiery explosion. There's a link to the video in today's episode notes. Luckily, there were no people on board, and the team behind the test flight celebrated it as a successful flight all round. Because even though it ended with a bang, lots of important data was collected to make the next test flight more successful. Because most of the best things that have ever been invented in the world have started their lives as spectacular failures. Because it's only by trying and failing that we learn and improve. The important thing is in the trying. And that's the end of my motivational speech for the morning. As the smoke cleared yesterday and fire crews in Perth managed to get into the areas hardest hit by Tuesday's bushfire, a picture emerged of the devastation the blaze had caused. As of last night, some 71 homes were estimated to have been lost in the fire, a huge number, which makes the fact that no lives have yet been reported lost during the emergency even more remarkable. Fire crews worked hard yesterday to get the fire under control. It has now destroyed some 9,000 hectares, or 15,000 football fields worth of land and property. Residents of Perth's northeastern suburbs were on alert again last night as wind gusts threatened to fan the flames again. Stay safe over there, people.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Punxsutawney in the United States, where it was Groundhog Day. Groundhog what? Groundhog Day, my friends, is a day when a groundhog, also known as a woodchuck, comes out of his nest, and if he sees his shadow, it means there's going to be 6 extra weeks of winter. The groundhog in question is called Punxsutawney Phil, and he and his groundhog ancestors have been participating in this strange American tradition since 1887. So, what's the forecast according to Phil this year? The furry little fella saw his shadow, and so the Arctic blast that's been sweeping the United States in the past few days could well be around for a whole lot longer. That is, if you think a rodent is a better forecaster than a Bureau of Meteorology. Each to their own. Meanwhile, the actual real weather forecast in the United States sent a chill through Americans everywhere yesterday. In a remarkable turn of events, every single state of America is expected to reach below freezing temperatures next week. Even Hawaii, which, in case you're not familiar, sits out in the Pacific Ocean near a whole bunch of tropical islands and is usually better known for its palm trees and beaches. Brrr.
Sport time!
Australia's chances of a gold medal in the basketball at this year's Olympics just got a whole lot better, following the news that NBA All-Star and former Newcastle boy Ben Simmons has signed up to be a boomer. The Boomers is the Australian national men's basketball team, and Ben Simmons is one of our country's most successful players in the NBA, the American Professional League, which is widely considered the most prestigious and competitive in the world. The Boomers will represent Australia at the Tokyo Olympics in July, which organisers continue to say will go ahead, despite the challenges posed by COVID. Simmons won't be the only NBA star beefing up our chances for gold. He'll be joined by no fewer than 11 other NBA players, including three-time Olympians Joe Ingles, who plays for the Utah Jazz, and Patty Mills, who plays for the San Antonio Spurs. Go you good things.
Animal Kingdom.
Now, we here at Squiz Kids HQ are all about spoiling the furry friends in our life. Louis, the wonder dog, who sits at my feet while I record the podcast each day, gets his fair share of spoiling, that's for sure. But I think even I would draw the line at taking him out for pizza. Not so the good folk of Potts Point in inner Sydney, where a doggy pizza at a local restaurant is proving incredibly popular. Made with kangaroo bacon, beef mince and mozzarella, a pizza called Skippy's Nightmare, and made especially for dogs, is flying out the door. Not literally, mind you, because that would be weird. Flying out the door is an expression that means it's selling faster than the chefs can make it. But sorry, Louis, it's regular dog food on the menu for you again tonight.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the groundhog who predicts how long the American winter will last? That's right, his name is Phil, or Punxsutawney Phil if you want to be specific. Question number 2. Name the Aussie basketballer who's just signed on to be a boomer. Yeah, it's Ben Simmons. Question number 3. What popular food is being prepared for pups in Potts Point? How good is that for alliteration? You got it, it's pizza.
Shout-outs.
It's February 4, birthday of former Aussie cricket captain Michael Clarke and Sydney Swans Callum Mills. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Tom from Mossman, Marco from Five Dock and BJ from Yarraman. And some belated birthday shout-outs go out to Jamela and Aubrey from Goomaling, Ruben from Wallaroo and Bailey from Sutherland. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Miss Luongo's 3B class from Five Dock Public School, all the Year 3 kids and their teachers Mrs. Ball, Mrs. Webber and Mrs. Dyrart at St. John the Baptist School in Plympton, Mr. G and Miss Bolton's Year 6 classes at Albany Hills State School, 3R from Riverwood Public School, and Miss Vekic and 5-6 Ruby from Birrong Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.